everyone. Guess what? We're here for the June energy update, and I cannot believe we're going to be halfway through the year, and this is solstice month. So I'm going to jump right into the energy update because it's really interesting and a little weird. Most of it's come in for me this morning, and it's in my head right now, but they're going to bring it through again for me, and it ties definitely, again, they have another theme. That just seems to be the way it is this year. They're giving a theme for the month, and as you know, for the year, if you've been watching me for a while, this is the year of creative expansion. But within that, we have the stages of it, or whatever each month is going to bring to that end. So, it's been, I'll just say, I don't know, it's been a really interesting last month. But what's happening, well, let's just take a look at May, first of all. As you may have recalled, the month of May was the May of, I believe it was cosmic expansion, which is consciousness expansion, cosmic, but they were talking about cosmic expansion in this growth period. Well, guess what? Right now, what they're talking about, because with expansion comes breaking down. So they're talking about expanding beyond ourselves, but we're breaking down. So when we move into a new, I'll just say, level or stage of expanded consciousness, guess what? What doesn't serve us any longer, doesn't resonate with us any longer, starts to break down, or that can't go with us. And it's all kinds of things. So what we're seeing now for June, and I think it's already started, I'm going to just say, some of you may notice this, and it's in all things, and I'm going to give you some examples. But what we're going to have for June is expanding beyond ourselves, but the big part is the breaking down. It's going to happen in tandem, I believe. Okay, they just said yes. And then as I'm having literally just recently this conversation this morning with him before I was going to do the video, they then start singing, if you know Bob Seger's song, Breakdown, Shakedown, Youre Busted, Breakdown, or I think it's called Shakedown, but go look at the lyrics. I mean, you can take them literally for his song, but there's pieces in there. It's like the universe talking to us. It's the breakdown, shakedown, you're busted. Just when you think, what is it? Okay, so let me look. All right, so with the lyrics, and you can look these up yourself, but I'll just give you a couple instances that really stuck with me with respect to the universe speaking, breakdown, shakedown. And basically they're saying breakdown, shakedown. Not so much you're busted, but what they're talking about is just about the time, this is part of lyrics, you think it's all right, breakdown, shakedown, breakdown, takedown, you're busted. Okay, so what they're trying to get across, and you know how they use metaphors, and they're kind of funny sometimes, but they're really alluding to this idea of two things. First of all, as we move into new conscious awareness, we start expanding, but as we expand, like I said, we expand beyond the things that don't serve us, and they start crumbling and breaking down. They start going away. This includes everything in our journey, potentially. Okay, it doesn't mean it's all going to break down and shake down, but we see it happening in some of the strangest ways. And also, remember, the other part of this is these things will continue to happen for us as we up level, but also as we don't, I guess I'll just say, lean into what we really know is true and serves us. We keep staying stuck in the muck, like kind of turning the other way to the journey. We're going to be broken down, shaken down, you're busted. Because remember how I've said before, they've always said we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. And humankind has come in to do this journey, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. Okay? And we have a lot of, I thought they said growing up to do, but they said growing out to do. So what they're talking about here is growing out of this heavy dimensional space that we're in. So I'm going to stop here because I forgot to introduce myself. I'm going to do that, and then we're going to roll right back in. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Carolyn. I'm a channel. I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor, and I offer energy updates every month as well as channeled messages from the light keepers to help you along your awakening and your ascension journey. So like, share, and subscribe. That helps me reach more people, and hopefully you will enjoy these messages. And like I always say, take what resonates, toss the rest aside. I'm here to help you look at what is offered and then take the puzzle pieces that make sense for you to put together for the puzzle of your own journey. So there you go. You can find all my services on purplerainhealing.com, and I'll leave you with a bit of information at the end. So let's get back to this. So it's already started, is what I will tell you. This is Memorial Day weekend for those of us in the United States. It's actually Monday, Memorial Day, as I'm doing this. And all of this came through this morning. So I'm going to give you some examples of things that potentially are breaking down, could break down. And I know this from other people, what's happening. And all of a sudden, this is all coming in today. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then they gave me all the words I just gave you. And so this is how they start putting the story together and what we're going to talk about. And then I go into the session or to the video recording like this, and then they bring through more. So for example, I'm just use my example. I need to back up a little bit first. So first of all, in this journey, what can happen is that those souls, whether they be humans, pets, whatever, that no longer serve us in our journey to higher consciousness, whether it be, and it doesn't mean that they don't suit us anymore, it may mean that their time is done with us. It's their journey with us, or their contract with us for that period of time has come to a close, and we start parting ways. That can happen with pets. I've seen a lot of people very recently, particularly this year, with pets who they've had to put down, who have left them in multiples as well. Some of you may resonate with some of this. I have chills, by the way. I currently have, just out of the blue, my 13-year-old cat is really struggling, and I'm dealing with a lot of health issues. And he's my magic cat, who is like right in there with us on the awakening journey, and has been very supportive in all of the ways that animals can be, right? So we have animals, we have relationships, those kinds of things really breaking down is what I keep getting. I keep getting breaking down. Now remember, this doesn't mean, what this can mean is that it no longer serves us, we have moved out of that vibration of things that weren't good for us in relationships. But it also means that our contracts, it may have been great, right? It may have been enjoyable at that time, but our contracts are coming to a close with a number of people, as well as our pets, okay? I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying this is how some of these things can manifest in showing that we're breaking down, but we're doing it to move to the next level as such, okay? This is a continuous process of how this works, but it's a big time right now, because we're in creative expansion in this year, okay? And in May, it was the start of this cosmic expansion, cosmic consciousness, this growth. But in order to be able to go there, guess what? We have to shed. And the shedding, again, like I said, we're on our journey, the yellow brick road. They talk about the Wizard of Oz all the time. Dorothy came and met and, walked along her yellow brick road, but she had things show up that didn't always journey and travel with her, but they were important at the point that she was traveling the road, just like our pets and our relationships are. They help create who we are in the future, right? And we for them as well. The other thing too, things like breakdowns of appliances, breakdowns of cars, things where we are, I just heard caught in the loop. What does that mean? Oh, caught in the loop of the 3D. That's interesting. Oh, okay, caught in the loop of the 3D. So, okay, they're talking about we may encounter things that we thought we had slipped away from because of our vibration. And so what's happening is that those breakdowns are happening. We may have slipped into, how do I want to explain this? Things that we thought we had transcended, but all of a sudden, like, let's say, I'm going to just make this up. Let's say a traffic stop, right? Like you get pulled over for speeding, or something that just doesn't happen to you, that typically you would, your vibration would bypass all those things. Some of these things are coming back at us. Okay, or I don't want to say coming back at us. They may be there. Again, we're breaking down. We're breaking down. I hope this is making sense to you. So it could be things like, okay, I am getting unexpected kinds of, they just keep talking about breakdowns. Now, some of you may understand this. Okay, I'll give you another example for me. And this just lined up perfectly with the video today, which oftentimes my life does. But so my washing machine, I mean, this may seem small and simple, but it's not. I mean, it's part of, there's signs and messages and everything. It's part of this journey. My washing machine is no longer working. Well, guess what? I also have a very sick cat where I'm doing a lot of laundry. And we won't go into the detail there, but needless to say, I'm like, are you kidding me? But what I received was, this is also about mechanical things. Sometimes homes, for example, mechanical things, homes, people moving from home to, moving to a new home, no longer being in that energetic space of in the old home. You don't even know this consciously necessarily, right? These things just happen in our journey and we deal with them. But you can start connecting the patterns of things that are growth for you that you're moving into, right? And it may not feel like it when you're in the breakdown mode. In fact, it's probably not going to feel like it. But if you understand the spiritual journey, it's going to help you get through the difficult times. So I want you to remember this. When you're going through the breakdowns, even the little things that are annoying and just difficult each day. I'll give you another example. I spilled water, which is also a whole nother conversation about what that means. I've spilled glasses of water just constantly over the last week. I mean, 3 or 4 times. I know that means something, right? For me, it means something particular, right? These kinds of silly little things, breaking down, moving out of that vibration. And again, you can argue, okay, well, you're not balanced or stable or whatever, and you can't hold onto the glass, but this is a vibrational difference we're starting with. So understand, take this forward with you, that as you are starting to have, or if you start to have these little weird things that come out of nowhere, I don't know, flat tire, and all of a sudden, boom, you're having to go to the mechanics or whatever it is. You can name 1,000 things because it's anything in this daily life. It's anything in this daily life. Understand that the breakdown comes before or as we are moving into a higher space of consciousness. You may already see what that is, where you're going with that, okay? Because when we start really understanding the spiritual journey, we're able to see past, present, and future more fully. We're able to, we kind of stand back, right? We stand back and we're able to see the bigger picture. We're able to see the pieces of the puzzle, right? And that's what I want you to understand. If you're in a really struggling period, breakdown of jobs, that's another thing. Lots of breakdowns of jobs. And you may be sitting there going, what am I going to do now? Now what? That's part of this journey. But as we start going through the spiritual journey, really going inside and understanding what that's showing us. Because a lot of times what happens is we know that things are meant to come to an end, right? Or, I don't know, even as simple as, I probably should have bought a new washer, 6 months ago. I mean, I'm making that up, but there are those things, right? Again, that's that delayed thing where, things that don't serve us, we should have made different choices earlier, and now we'll do this the hard way. We have to do this the hard way. Got to do it. Do it the easy way or the hard way. So again, this is listening to your intuition, your inner knowing, and when you get those feelings, you want to act on them in some way or start considering them because they're going to come back, all right? So I think most of us in this journey that have been going through it for a while at least are able to go, when the thing comes, doesn't mean it feels any better, but you're able to go, I know this how this fits in. I understand where this fits in. Because remember, you are always on an expansive journey in consciousness. You always are. All right. We all are. We just may not understand how it works. Right? We may not understand how it works. Also, other things, breakdowns, habits, all of that. You may be finding, I'm just going to say this, to keep this in mind because it's part of the process. You may be finding you're getting pulled back into an old habit you didn't like and that you thought you were done with, and you just got yanked back in. Guess what? Breakdown for you to go, no. Because remember how this works. As we clear things, we're just going to use clearing as the example. When we clear things out of our cellular memory, all of those things, the behavior patterns we used to have either in past lives or in this current incarnation, well, we work on it, right? We have ways we work on it, and we're recognizing, we dig deep, and then we think we're done. Well, remember how I've said, no, that's not the case. Yeah, we do the big work, but then it'll come back down the road it'll show it to you again and go, Do you remember this? And then you'll have that experience again in a more minor way, typically, and then it'll typically quickly dissipate, but you do have, again, reverberations. Okay, so it's not just one and done, but this is what we're having happen, but it's in spades right now. What I really believe, I'm going to go into this now as I look at June. This is, okay, they just said, oh God, I just got chills. They said leading up to the solstice. Okay, because the solstice, if you can believe this, oh my gosh, is only, 22 days away? June 21st. And so, oh my God, I have so many chills. So, okay, they just said prep time because we can't take that with us. All right, so, some of you who maybe are newer to this journey maybe go, what do you mean can't take this with us? I don't understand how that can even work. It's vibrational, right? Can't take it with us. It happens naturally. Things just start to shed, but then you do the inner work, you do the understanding of the spiritual journey, you come along, you create your self-care. Remember, your main priority is to create your foundation of stability, of what we call self-care. Again, I have a bunch of videos on that, but we've talked a lot about it. Creating that foundation of self, that's your primary role in this. And then as we do that, things start flowing with us, and we start vibing higher, we start flowing with the universe. Well, what's happening now is we're getting knocked around. They just said knocked around a lot. Knocked around. These things that we're having to leave, they're talking about leave behind. And it's not always going to be, how do I want to say this? Like, I know this sounds kind of strange, but I keep, even appliances, even old thing, like old parts of your home or things we have to, I had to, maybe some of you are doing home renovation. That stuff counts. I know, because it's also part of our foundation. But everything around us counts as something vibratory. So keep that in mind. Breaking down, shaking down, okay? To be able to then move past and into this next level of consciousness, right? For ourselves individually, obviously, because we're on our own journey, but also then contributing to the collective. So it's not like you can create a map and say, oh, this is coming, oh, I see this. But you're going to know typically some kind of little inkling of things. You might have an intuitive hit, or you may have been working on this for a while and finally it's like come to the surface because you've been ignoring it for so long. It's all kinds of things. Now, with me, all right, my two things are connected. My cat, and, well, actually I have three. My cat, and then my washing machine, which you may say, well, that sounds super simple and not a big deal. No, these are big deals. They're energetic. I had my furnace replaced. Remember, I've been going through this a lot lately, a lot of breakdown. But this is a huge month, whatever that's going to mean for us. And I don't want you to be fearful about it. It's nothing to be fearful about. Because it's not, it's what I'm very much getting is we're getting yanked back in, okay, to just let it go. And they're really showing this. This is a big yanking back in. To step, but it's a stepping your toe back in and then letting it go. And what they're showing is the solstice is a huge launching platform. So they often show the solstices and the equinoxes as huge launching platforms. There's something big about this year of creative expansion and the solstice midway through. Okay? Because remember, this is the theme, creative expansion. And creating is everything. Everything we do that we create for our growth of consciousness, for this life journey that we have, for the growth of our soul. Okay? So that's creation. So we're expanding beyond that. We're moving into a cosmic expansion. In order to continue to do that and really move there, remember, it's never linear. It's back and forth. You'd be like, well, why'd cosmic expansion show up first as a theme for May and not the breakdown first? That's not how it works. Always, right? That's not how it works. So what we do is we grow and we break down at the same time. It's a works in tandem. And remember how I've talked about how old Earth is going to break down, or is breaking down, I will say. It's as we're seeing things break down, it's being built up too by us, light workers who are going through this journey. And you see new things all the time. You see the bright lights of people doing things that are going to grow out of what they don't want to see anymore. And it's happening. We just have to see it, right? So that's the same thing that's happening for us in this cosmic consciousness creation, expansion. That's happening. But as we do that journey of climbing the stairs, like I said, sometimes we got to go back to the basement and pick something up. So what we're going to potentially see, and it's already starting in a big way, because remember, it's not just on the date June 1st, this is all going to begin. I have had a number of people that I know just in 3 days, and then myself, where this has just come full circle. In fact, it's real interesting. Just 2 days ago, actually yesterday, I had no idea what June was going to be about. I just hadn't, not like I asked to get anything, because I usually just do this on the fly, but there was nothing that I had been told. And then all of a sudden, I got all this information from people. I was like putting this all together, and all of a sudden they started bringing through the song, and then they brought through the theme, which is for June, again, expanding beyond ourselves and breaking down. So again, we are going to go through that breaking down. You're probably potentially seeing it already this weekend. I don't know why I keep saying that, but they just said a precursor to, bigger things to come. Times and ways and means that suit you rather than disserve you. And you will grow beyond all knowing. They just said, remember, these are stair steps. So when they say things like you will grow beyond all knowing, humans always think that, oh God, we're there. We're going to be there. No, this is a staged approach, right? This is, remember, it's all energy. So in order for us to accommodate this within our bodies and our minds and everything that we have known and seen, this is a gradual process. And what I will tell you right now, we have had, I believe it was yesterday, another massive solar flare, which we're going to feel this week. I'm kind of getting on a Tuesday, what is today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to feel it. I don't know what that means for each of us individually, but remember, these solar flares that are happening are in tandem, they just said, in tandem with our spiritual growth, with our conscious awareness and our vibration and the Earth's health as well. So there's great purpose in this. I think I had mentioned how the northern lights are able to be seen. They have been down here where I live in Iowa. That never or very rarely happens. It's been happening a lot. But we did have another solar flare. And again, I don't keep this in my awareness. It's the weirdest thing, because all of a sudden something will pop up on my phone and tell me about M-class solar flare, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know enough to know that, basically. But I did hear yesterday that we had, it was massive. It was it was a biggie. We've had a lot of them. So just expect this week, if you're getting this, if you're reading this, listening to this, after you kind of felt some effects, maybe it'll help you understand why you felt that way. But just know that these solar flares that are happening as well are in tandem with what's happening to us each month. So, okay, so what they're talking about is these solar flares. Okay, they just said breaking you out of your, they just said hardened self. Okay, there's always still parts of us that are, still needing to be worked on, chip away at the outer shell and coating so we can get to the heart of things, right? And what they're saying is the solar flares that cellularly, this is so interesting. They're saying that at the same time that it's going to break down things for you to make you aware, you're also growing. Okay, so those solar flares are doing the same thing. Always remember that. With your breakdowns that you're having, you're growing. It can be really hard when you're going through struggles, but we have to keep that perspective, and we have to keep that stability. We have to keep our self-care going on. You're going to see the beauty in this too, but I feel like June, for many of us, will be, they just keep saying breakdown, like a lot of breakdown. Okay, and they're showing new green growth. It's like it's literally tilling the soil. It's bigger than it's been, is what I will say to you, is what I'm getting. It's bigger than it's been. Tilling the soil, I'm seeing the seeds, reaping what you sow. Yep, so we want to be very aware. We want to be able to stand back from it and not get so close that we get all freaked out about it, right? That's the problem. When we get into emotional situations and we get into, we can feel it, right? We know when we're further away and can look at things with perspective. But when we have really personal things happening, oh God, and you can feel it in your heart and your heaviness in your chest, and you can just feel it, and you're just maybe more reactionary rather than being able to be thoughtful about things. This is a great test for you. Because I'll tell you right now, for me, I'm going through it with my cat. I could get very freaked out with what's going on. And yet there is a part of me that I don't want to say is, then that's not true. And I'm using this as an example for you. So what's happening with me is it's literally like having elder care, but also elder care with a lot of physical issues, okay, that require immediate attention, constant. Like I can't leave for a day. So the point being is, during this time, I've seen my growth. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm able to take the thing in front of me, because remember, the thing in front of you is what it is. It's our reaction to it that matters. We have a choice, right? Whatever's happening, like, I don't know, my washing machine breaking down. I could throw a hissy fit and I mean, and get upset and angry and do all these kinds of things, right? And just get, I mean, really, like, I, want to go put my fist through a wall. But it's like, that doesn't help anything. Yes, I'm a very physical person. Probably going to going playing tennis would be super helpful. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to, because I can't, I'm going to go take a walk, and I'm going to be thoughtful about my walk. But it's about what we do with the thing that's in front of us. So remember, if you have something that's breaking down in front of you, you've got the thing in front of you. The universe is working for you. You are all working in your soul's favor, okay? So that thing's in front of you. It's what you do with it that matters. You have choices. We can act completely emotionally out of it, even in really tough times. Or we can breathe and step into the knowing of what is, and then deal with what is. And so for me, the real test of this is when we are confronted with these difficult times is, how well can I just breathe, look at the thing, and then deal with it in a very grounded, level-headed way as much as possible, depending on the circumstances, right? But this is part of carrying through in June, okay? And remember, this is growth, though. This is growth, but sometimes it doesn't feel like it, right? We are going through, like I said, expanding beyond ourselves is what they said to me, is the thing. Expanding beyond ourselves, but we're breaking down too. So I know I spent a lot of time on the breaking down part, but the expanding beyond ourselves is helping us reach that more cosmic consciousness stage. And remember, it's not I'm going to get there at this date and I'll be done. No, this is constant growth, okay? And you know this. We have little examples in our own journey of how we feel, of how we know we're reacting, of the things, of being able to manifest things in our life, how much faster they're happening. Well, right now we might be manifesting, I don't want to call it manifesting, but the things that are meant to come in our way to help us break things down, right? To move into that higher stage are coming our way. But manifesting in general is part of the expanding beyond ourselves, creating those things coming to us faster, and I'll just, in a smoother way, I'll just say. Thoughts are things, those kinds of things, the awareness of the oneness of us, the opening of our heart space, all those further expansion of this. And some of us may think, well, I thought I already got there. No, continuous journey, because we don't understand where we can be. We have, as humankind, sunk so low vibrationally that for us to even move up a little bit feels amazing, right? And you know what it feels like. You know when you're in that space of like, because it ebbs and flows. And the more we go through this journey, the more you're up here, right? Rather than doing these high swings, right? So you're growing. And I know many of you feel this like, okay, I can maintain more of this. I'm maintaining more of this because I'm continuing to do my work rather than this kind of thing, okay? So I think what we'll do is we'll leave you with that. And I want to take a look at kind of what might be happening on the ground. And again, here's the thing with me doing this part, and I like to do this part, but it isn't always just within this next month. It may be a start of something. What I will say, though, is we've talked a lot about water events, a lot, and there have been massive water events. Even I'm stunned at what I'm seeing. I mean, it is interesting to be a channeler and then see things that you channel happen. So we've had a ton of water events across the world. I mean, I'm thinking just of Italy now, of recent times. There's been a lot. We've had our snow melts. We've had our floods. We've had We've had, and there's been a lot of, or what I was seeing, or I'm seeing more of, is these like flash flood things out of nowhere, like lots of rain and then mudslides and flooding, kind of like what we've, I mean, not kind of like what we've been seeing. Okay, I'm not talking about like the Great Flood kind of thing at all, but it's a great flood to those of us who are involved in it, right? Who were in the path of it. So let's just take a look right now and see what they want to say about anything we need to be aware of for worldwide. Okay, they just said breakdown, destruction. Well, that would make sense. It says that's the theme. So, they just said continued rebuilding, marching on. Okay, will not give in. Okay, this is showing groups of people. This goes back to what we saw starting, I don't know what month, but it was this year. People, at the ground level, the common citizen, not taking it anymore is what they keep talking about. Because the power's in the people, they keep talking about that. And I know we say that, and then it's kind of like, oh, the power's in the people. Well, look what's happening in the governments and blah, blah, blah. No, this is different, okay? This is the start of something new. And we're seeing this in pockets of the world, okay? Oh, France. They just brought France in. So if you're familiar with that, I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that there's been definite uprisings in France. I don't know where we're at with that in the last couple of weeks, though, so I apologize. But it's an example of people coming together to say no more, regardless of whether you agree with them or not. It doesn't matter, right? It's people coming together and really... Okay, they're talking about what works for the collective in these new times, in these new energetic times. Because remember, we're in the Aquarian Age times. We're shifting into that energy, and that's why we see the breakdown. Remember this, okay? This is astrological. It's energetic. It's cosmic. So why we see the breakdown is because we've, like I said, shifting, whatever you want to say, the crossover of Pisces energy to our Aquarian Age energy, which is super powerful and expansive and creative. Well, guess what? All that other stuff's got to go away. It's got to break down and be reframed in a new way. So we are literally going through, they just said the knothole. Yeah, these cosmic expansion times, they just said. Cosmically expansive times, okay? Cosmically expansive times. So that's why we're seeing the breakdowns. We're seeing across the world. So we're going to expect more of this, right? Because we're chugging through this. It's almost like they're saying a wormhole. They're giving it an example, like a wormhole. Oh, from one era to the next. But they're just showing this. It's really tight. It's like a birthing process, but it's really tight. There's something about having to get tight before you get birthed. Is that a thing? I didn't have children. There's about a pressuring on humankind and or even birthing. That then allows the thriving. We're being pressured, it's allowing the thriving. Wow, there's a lot of energy around that. It's like we're going from one time to another, energetically, one time to another, and there's this, it's like a pressurized system. Again, these are metaphors, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, maybe we are going to go through a wormhole, but it's a pressurized, they're talking like it's like a pressurized system where they just said expanding and contracting at the same time. Expanding and contracting at the same time. It's always happening that way. Remember that. You're not just contracting, you're not just expanding. Again, you're not breaking down, you're not just growing. It's happening at the same time. This is why they've always said new earth, old earth. Again, this all lines up from the individual all the way to the collective and all the way to cosmically, okay? The breakdown of old institutions, belief systems, old institutions, belief systems, constructs, is breaking down, and you see it crumbling, and it's not going to fall flat on its face. I've told you that again. I've told you that before. I've received that. But things will shake. Like, look at the banking system. That's a great example. This has all happened in the last month. I think even since, it might not have been, but since in the U.S., and I don't know how that's affected globally, but we've had issues, big issues here, right? Now, what I've understood is that's not all going to fall flat on its face, but it's crumbling in the sense of it's got to be rebuilt. Something's got to happen and change, so that's happening over here. Now, you may not see it and understand it and hear about it, but all we ever do is hear about the the breakdown and it's going to be the apocalypse and oh my God, everything's awful. Create fear in us, right? No, just know that the effort over here is bring your vibration over to what can be created, what's going to be created. Knowing that this is what's going to happen. We are being led into the ascended times. We are being led into the ascended times. This has never happened as a collective. It is never, I've been told that, never happened as a collective like this. We've had awakened people over the course of time, and we can name a bunch of them. Awakened individuals that then helped affect humanity. But it wasn't a collective situation like this at all. That's where the power is in this entire process, all right? We've had ascended, whatever you want to consider that to mean, individuals. We've had awakened individuals. And can you only imagine? You think you're alone now in this journey. Can you imagine being one of the only individuals going through an awakening back in the, I don't know, let's just say 1800s or whatever time frame other than now? We do find our tribe eventually, and we're starting to connect with people, and thank heavens for the internet, right? All this is lined up so that we can do the ascension journey and be connected. So I think, let's see if we have anything else collectively. I kind of got off track there, but let's see any events. We started with water events, and I ended up there. So just know everything that I receive is channeled. It just comes through me. For those of you who have watched me before, and I talk really fast, so again, it's just, it comes through me, but it comes through my voice, unless they jump in with their little poetic messages or little sayings, or I hear something and then I add that in. So let's just see, and then they'll give me visuals too. Let's just see if they show anything of importance. They're showing water again. I just heard washing away your sorrows. Okay, again, a metaphor. Okay, there will be tides that will turn. Okay, they're going to use a water metaphor. Across the lands. Okay, they're saying governments will stand on their hands. Okay, so what they're showing is like doing a handstand. Oh, I just heard foolery, trickery, also clowns. They're showing clowns, like, in the breakdown. Okay, so like, it's almost like, what they're showing is governments throwing all this, and political parties throwing everything at the wall like they can, throwing everything, trying everything, and down to the lowest level possible. And kind of seeing some of that, right? I can only speak for the U.S., but I don't know what the rest of you are experiencing. Well, I guess I do a little bit, but they just talked about foolery and trickery. Oh, they just said they know their time has come. Now, remember, this one might not be conscious, right? It's not always conscious. They get little blips of things, right? And because, again, so basically what we're going to see is throwing everything at us. It almost is going to be too obvious, is what I'm getting, of like, it's kind of like that now, but too obvious of what is being done to keep us contained, is what I just heard, is to keep us contained. It's going to be too obvious. It's almost going to be like, oh, they just said like a clown show. Okay, that makes so much sense. And some of you don't like clowns, sorry, but that's a reference. A clown show, you're just like, God, here we go again. Look at those crazy clowns over there, right? Blah, blah, blah. So it's like a clown show, all right? And we're more aware of that now. And it's just like they're trying everything because they're losing power, they're losing control. It may not look like it, but if we fall into fear, then they have control, right? I mean, individually and collectively. But more people are coming out of that, understanding that they are masters of their own journey, okay? You create a vibration in your own journey, which then transcends you above the 3D muck. You are literally ascending individually, okay? It's an individual journey, but it's collective because you affect the individuals that are around you and the rest of the collective. So the more of us that do this, that live in this higher 5D kind of energy, and again, it's like this. We sometimes run down here through 3D, 4D. I've got a video on that, but then we start living in the higher realms. You feel it, you know it. It's very hard to define, but you feel it and you know it. You start making choices that serve you. Your life becomes more created out of what your heart's desire is, and it comes over time, right? It's not all handed to you on a platter one day. Some things can be clicked together real quickly by the universe, but this is over time that we do this. This is over time. So what we're seeing here is this fear mongering, all of that. They keep showing like a bunch of clown suits, and that's really, it's almost like it's just so obvious now, right? which is why we have to focus on our individual journey and don't turn that way. Just let them have their show. Let them have their show. Keep moving forward and creating what you're creating for yourself and for the rest of the collective. So I think what we're going to do is stop today, and I'm going to leave you with that for the June energy update. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I will just say I'm with all of you. If you're going through tough times, just understand this is part of the journey. It's kind of how you look at what is in front of you, what is happening, and being able to breathe. Remember, get that foundation solid. Again, we waver in that. Even me, I haven't meditated in the last 3 days much at all, and that is not serving me. But again, it's there. I know I'll come back to it here again today. But keep doing your self-care. Keep leaning in, knowing that this too shall pass, and that's actually accurate because it will pass, and it will help you grow into a higher, greater consciousness. So as you encounter those difficult breakdown times, just know they're here to continue to advance you in your journey. Hang on. And like I said, again, remember, June is expanding beyond ourselves. I mean, that's the theme, but it's the breakdown with it. They said breaking down, okay? Expanding beyond ourselves by breaking down, all right? Okay, so I'll leave you with my services, purplerainhealing.com, where I have all my channeling services listed, my distance energy healing, and my spiritual awakening mentoring, where I help you through all of this with all the things we just talked about and that you're going through, and assisting you with your own channeled information and also practical advice for your journey forward, whether you want a single session or you want to work with me on mentoring. I am here for you, and I have worked with so many of you already, and I so enjoy it. Reach out to me if you're interested in working with me or even doing a quick consultation to understand my services further. I'm here for you, and I so thank you for joining me in this journey, and I will see you in the next video.